Market Peak with Seth and Matt. Welcome, everybody. This is Seth and Matt with Market Peak, P-E-E-K. Today is Sunday, March 4th, and we are ready to rock today. Beautiful day outside. It's Easter. We're actually recording on Easter. How's your Easter so far, Matt?
Good, man.
Yeah?
Relaxing.
Yeah? Woke him up.
Dude, relative to most holidays.
Yeah, that's true. My wife and I, we got sushi for Easter this year. Grocery stores are closed. We didn't plan ahead, which we're fine with. So nothing wrong with a little sushi for Easter, that's for sure. So
colorful Easter.
Yeah, it's true. Especially down here in Miami. It's funny because I posted a picture up on Facebook and I was like. My wife doesn't like ham. I love ham. That's okay. I don't mind having sushi instead of ham. So on Sundays, we prepare you for what to expect on Monday. So we're going to have our market prep. We're going to also be talking about our money prep. We're going to talk about 5 industries that we expect to benefit from the infrastructure bill, which is starting to get priced in now. Like the pricing in is starting to happen. So now would be a good time to jump on it. Who knows how long it'll take to actually get through, but still, it's a good time to move forward with that. Of course, we're going to make our predictions. We're going to talk about what we expect for Monday, what we expect for the week. Once again, we're not financial advisors. None of this is official advice. Do your own research. You're D-squared. Talk to your professionals. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, please do. Share, like, all that. If you want to wait a little bit, we understand. Please leave a comment with your thoughts, which, we've been getting a lot more comments, which is really appreciated. It's nice to get that interaction with the fans or the subscribers. I'm sure there's a couple fans out there, and the rest of you are just subscribers, but we get it. We get it. And so before we go, I want to say yesterday we talked about shrimp quite a bit. In fact, we talk about it quite a bit. And I mentioned yesterday one of the ways they're expecting to uplist in the NASDAQ. One of the ways I had mentioned that they could do that was reverse merger, which is incorrect. It's actually a reverse split, so I do apologize for that. And we looked it up, how you need to be $3 to get on NASDAQ. Actually, under certain conditions, it can be $2. Rob had pointed it out to me, showed me a couple spots. There are some legalities and some rules. You have to be in business under 3 years, yada, yada, yada. I'm sure there's ways they can figure that out. Natural Shrimp has been around for a while. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but I'm sure they'll figure it out, that's for sure. So reverse merger, or I'm sorry, I did it again. Reverse split seems to be the way that most people are thinking it's going to go. It's not enticing. It'd be nice if, I have 15,000 shares. It'd be nice if my 15,000 shares is jumped up to $3 as opposed to reversing. So my 15,000 shares turns into 3,000 shares, and then all of a sudden it's $3 or $4. That's not ideal. If that's the way that they're going to do it, I guess that's the way they're going to do it. The question is
not ideal if it drops before you can sell.
Sure, and it's going to drop, right? I mean, it's going to drop,
but
as soon as they announce it, right? I mean, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, but I think in the run-up, you could still, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you'll have an opportunity to sell on this.
Sure. I'm expecting when they announce it, which they'll have to. When they announce it, there's going to be a drop, and I'll buy some more. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got swaggy stocks in front of us. Interestingly enough, AMC has kind of moved down a little bit. Tesla and GME are holding up the spots on number 1 and 2. Facebook slid into number 3, interestingly enough. So they're at about 60% positive. And then you got Palantir and then a bunch of other ones we noticed. But it's interesting that Facebook managed to slide in over the weekend. I don't know what they got going on. Maybe we'll take a look at that. One of the ones I do have in my holdings in the IRA, which I'm okay with, Facebook sliding up there, that's for sure. But would love to see QuantumScape jump into there sooner or later. Good Lord.
Oh, it will.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we're going to talk about stuff we like for Monday, and that's definitely one of the ones I'm looking at. All right, so 5 industries that we expect to benefit from the infrastructure bill. We're going to go ahead and just go through them all. Matthew has some tickers. I'll try to pull them up as he goes. And I guess we'll start with number 1, which is Caterpillar. And this is industrials. It's going to be the first one on our list for obvious reasons, construction and everything that goes along with that. I have CAT in front of us right now, 232 to 74. You also mentioned URI, which is United Rentals, and MMM, 3M, which makes all kinds of crap. So please take it away.
All kinds of stuff. lot of tape, a lot of just like office supplies that are also used in construction. So I think
Adhesives.
there's three stocks.
Yep.
Yeah, which are large cap stocks too. I think do very well in this kind of environment. There's been a strong pickup in construction over the past year, actually. A lot of basic materials became really cheap, went on fire sale. That kind of helped a lot of construction firms buy what they needed in order to kind of sustain these projects.
Sure.
And look, construction is a leading indicator. So, take a look at some industrials.
Yeah, big time. I mean, and the thing is anything that has to do with construction is going to have to use some sort of industrial product. And you had mentioned, this kind of ties in, we talked yesterday, you had mentioned USO, which is oil, and how oil is used for a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff in industrials also uses oil. You said petroleum, I mean, even if you go petroleum jelly, and you're talking about all kinds of other things that use it as well. So anything, grease, yeah, 100%. So URI is at 331, and if we go to MMM, which is 3M, right now, we are looking at 192. So it's interesting, too. If you look at all of them over the year, they've all had a pretty steady incline. 3M is probably the one that's been the flattest, but still, it's gone from, 132 to 192 in the last year. So a lot of room to move still. That being said, moving to number two, which is going to be transports. So this is all types of shipping, stuff like that. Just to jump in real fast. So the new job that I have relies on container ships that get shipped into the country. One of the biggest issues that we have had with the company, and one of the reasons why I didn't start earlier is because they needed to get some shipping stuff taken care of. But the containers just getting really, really expensive. The price for each container is going up. Obviously, the stuff that happened in Suez Canal is really it's only 12%, they said, of all the shipping in the world. But still, that really slowed down a lot of stuff across the board. So you're going to end up with a lot of issues there. And shipping costs are going way, way, way up already because businesses are opening up. Things are starting to go back and get kind of crazy. And now shipping is at a super, super premium. So please.
Yeah. I mean, case in point, take a look at all the activity right now on the rails.
Sure.
I mean, look at CSX.
Yep.
So we just mentioned industrials, CAT, URI, United Rentals. So that equipment needs to be moved.
Sure does.
And
so does all the oil.
Raw materials need to be moved. Yep. Oil needs to be moved from transport unit to the refinement process, wherever that site is located. And we're also talking about a lot of small packages moving, so FedEx, UPS. So the transports, and again, we've kind of discussed the transports. We've talked about, the IYT. It's a sector ETF covering transports, which includes airlines, and as a leading indicator of economic well-being.
Sure.
So the transports are up. That's a really good sign right now. That is kind of like a direct reflection of this boom in construction we're seeing, and we're about to see further with the injection of all the stimulus money focused on, repairing roads and bridges and that kind of thing.
100%. So out of all of them that you mentioned here, UPS seems to be the flattest. Let me go back here. It had a pretty big jump not that long ago. For some reason, here we go. UPS. All right, advanced charts are being a pain in the butt right now, so we'll just use the regular charts. But yeah, if we go to UPS, as you can see, I had a really, really big jump, and this was back in August. It went from 119 to 171 in a matter of a week, and it's been pretty flat since then. But the other ones you mentioned, CSX and IYT, which is a transport index, right? It just doesn't have as much room to grow as these other ones. So IYT seems to be looking pretty good, and of course CSX looks to be pretty good as well. Neither of them seem to have flattened out over the year. So anyway, move on to the third one is going to be materials. So this is all stuff that's used for construction. And we'll go ahead and start with X here, which is the first one on your list, which is United States Steel Corporation, which should be doing well because one of the things Biden talked about is buying U.S. and we produce a lot of steel here. So as you can see, it's had a really, really big jump recently since March 25th, and I would imagine it's going to keep going from here. Please.
Yeah, so steel may be cheaper in the long run for some bulk suppliers to purchase from China, but the U.S. is still set up to produce a massive amount of steel when it needs to.
Sure.
We have the coal, we have the iron, we have the refineries, we have the transportation system, we have the rails. So if we need steel, we'll get it. It's good that U.S. steel will be, seeing some subsidization basically here. So it's going to get some help. It's a big firm, employs a lot of people. And, we're going to need a lot of steel. If we start building new buildings, bridges, they need their structural support.
Yep.
And structural steel is becoming more and more of kind of like an outdated kind of process. So most buildings are prefab brick right now.
Sure.
But steel jobs are good. They're high paying. You're talking about, providing those iron workers, and that's like a union term.
Sure.
With, good long-term work. So the other company I like to look at in this case would be U.S. Concrete.
Which you also need for buildings.
Yeah, pylons.
Yeah,
a lot of pylons.
True, bridges, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's cool about concrete, a lot of people don't realize is there's different grades of concrete. You can have your concrete with just sidewalk, but the concrete they use for these massive high rises, I mean, you're talking concrete that's able to withstand like tens of thousands of pounds of pressure, like super, super refined concrete that can withstand all this stuff. So there's a lot of like steel, there is different grades of steel, but when it comes to concrete, people don't realize how much science is still going into the ability, because when you have a building that's 50, 100 stories tall, it's not your ordinary everyday concrete going into there. That's for sure. So please, concrete. And then the last one you had was Halliburton, right?
Yeah. So Halliburton, I like because they're an oil field services provider. They have their hand in pretty much every single like small niche kind of servicing that part of the energy sector in particular. Sure. They have a lot of exposure to shale oil fields and natural gas. So I think we're going to consume more energy. This infrastructure bill is going to kind of drive forward this construction boom, and that's going to require a lot of oil, a lot of energy. Sure. That's going to be good for what has been a relatively beaten down sector over the past year. Obviously, crude has recovered in price.
Sure.
And a lot of these majors have like stabilized too, but it's still been a hollowed out industry, especially with all this talk of investment in renewable energies and a possible true turning away from polluting energy sources. And
the thing is, it's funny because I had just gone to the 5-year and you're talking about Scott taking a beating. The all-time high, or at least in the last 5 years, are looking around $57, $58. Right now it's at $21, almost $22. So ever since, the big, you could say the pullback last March, the crash, whatever, 2020, it's been pretty nice. It'll go up a little bit and then it'll consolidate. Then it'll go up a little bit more. Then it'll consolidate. So it's been pretty healthy. And it's pretty far off its all-time high. So there's definitely a lot of room to grow there. That's for sure. All right. So communications, I didn't expect you to have this one on the list. I do like it. Crown Castle International Group, which I'm not even familiar with. So please take it away.
So I want to be in REITs, telecom REITs right now, because the infrastructure bill includes money for widespread broadband access. Okay. So broadband networks are going to be expanded. And that's a lot of money trickling down to companies who, own towers, who own physical sites, and who own fiber optics. So I'm looking at CCI, American Tower, right, and SBA Communications. So I think those are the places to be. And look, there's 3 companies have been successful, and they've consolidated their spaces. Crown Castle is international too. So I mean, there's a lot to like there.
Sure.
And I think that's the play.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that one of the things that Biden spoke about when he was talking about this infrastructure is he wants high-speed internet for everyone. He wants it to be cheaper. So wherever you live, it should be cheaper. He's talking about how we invented the internet, but we're like 13th or something in the world on internet infrastructure, which is pretty embarrassing.
13th?
Yeah, it's bad. So it
feels low.
Yeah, so it's like, with everything going on, we should be a lot higher than we are. There's no doubt about that. AMT looks like it's had a nice little run. By the way, people, I don't know what's going on with TradingView right now. It's really, really slow to get me the charts I want. Let me pull up SBAC. So they all seem to be doing pretty well. They're trading a little bit flat overall in the year. But if you take a look at what's been happening recently, SBAC is on a hell of a run. So it was 236 back on March 4th. Which is about a month ago, and right now it's at 281. So SBAC has been really, really moving forward. That's for sure. Yeah. So, all right. So number 5, which we're all pretty aware of, it's definitely one that Matt and I focus a lot on, is clean energy and EV stocks. I think this is a no-brainer. Please go for it.
I was going to let you talk about this.
Okay, sure, that's fine. So, all right, let's start with QuantumScape Corporation. Here's the thing: the one major thing the United States really wants to have happen, Joe Biden wants to have, the Democrats, let's say, want to have happen, is cleaner energy, cleaner world, less reliance on oil. It's not a secret, where the United States stands on oil. We use it. We're gluttonous on it. We don't really produce that much of it. We are the Saudi Arabia of natural gas. But we really need to start tampering this stuff down. We don't have to go into everything with climate change and all that stuff. But getting into clean energy is going to be really, really important. And the ability to do that is going to be really based upon the not using oil, not using coal, not digging stuff out of the ground to make that happen. Right now, obviously, the biggest issue is, we talked about it, if you're using, an EV car, a lot of electricity was used to make that. The electricity was generated from oil and it was from coal. So we're getting there. But QuantumScape, solid state batteries, you can get a lot more power into your battery, which means you can fit less battery and get the same amount of power as you can with another one. Obviously, Tesla, clean energy, the charging stations, fuel cell, which makes hydrogen cells, which is going to be the cleanest energy out there. They say it's an unlimited supply, which is essentially correct. You can use water, turning it into hydrogen. The only exhaust you're going to get is water, which is still freaking unbelievable. They can take a coal plant, plug the exhaust into fuel cells plants, take that exhaust, sequester the carbon, still produce the hydrogen, still get the water as a byproduct. You have Plug, which is the small fuel cells that they're going to be using, they're using in forklifts now. Is that right? And then I think it was Korea or Japan. I think it was South Korea. They're like, we want all of our cars to be hydrogen cars or non-gas cars by like 2032 or something. So there's going to be a lot of moving forward with this. Fuel cell, small hydrogen. Big hydrogen plants. Plug is going to be small hydrogen plants. I got Blue Sphere here. So this is the ones that we've been talking about. We haven't spoken about in a while, but they take basically farm waste, other waste too, but mainly farm waste, and they turn like manure and stuff like that. They use that to turn into not hydrogen, methane. And what they've been doing before is using that methane to burn it to make electricity. But the new plant that was supposed to open first quarter, it didn't open yet, because if it did, I'm sure we would have heard about it. But that plant is going to take the methane and inject it straight into the grid, which is going to go out to the homes and stuff. Pretty awesome. So Blue Sphere is another one that could do really well. Blink, which is charging stations. ChargePoint, which is another charging station. President Biden said he wants to have 500,000 charging stations in this country, which is massive. So Blink and ChargePoint, definitely a lot of room to grow. And the better that these companies do, the more you're going to see electric cars. Because the biggest issue right now is, I get an electric car, where the hell am I going to charge it? Charge it at home, and if I want to drive for 200 miles, then what I'm going to do? So the more these get out there, the better it's going to be for the industry as a whole. So that's pretty much all I got for that. I mean, I'll pull up fuel cell here just for the hell of it. Looks like TradingView is starting to pan out, starting to work for us. So fuel cells, you can see, had a nice big pop, dip down. It's been slowly climbing, or slowly, I guess, starting to find some support. If we go to Plug, you're going to see that it's almost the exact same chart. It's amazing how similar and how,
They trade
yeah,
together.
100%. So yeah, and you can see dipping down, starting to move up a little bit. Both of them are about half of their all-time highs. You guys know what's going on with Tesla. And of course, you have Neo and all those EV cars. Nikola, who knows? Maybe they'll do something one of these days. That's for sure.
Yeah. Lordstown Motors.
Yeah, that's another
Ride.
one. Yeah, for sure.
Workhorse.
Yep. And there's another one I've been following, actually. Let me pull it up because I have it here on my watch list on my phone, which I think we're going to do something on moving forward. BowX. So BowX is going to be doing a reverse merger, and they're going to be pulling in an EV car, an EV space type of thing. We'll save it for when we actually go in, but that got officially announced as well. And of course, I don't know, every time there's a reverse merger announcement, it's official. It seems to drop a little bit. So it might be an opportunity. And you had small caps as like a bonus option as well. Pretty safe to say with, watching the Russell and how it's been doing, small caps are going to benefit quite a bit. So please.
Yeah, a lot of small energy companies. So I mean, that's what my line of thinking there.
Okay, sure.
Benefit.
And oil.
Yeah.
We are, oil big time.
And this infrastructure bill really seems to target smaller domestic companies.
Sure.
Too.
Which we need.
So,
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much all we have for that. That's our list, folks. Industrials, transports, materials, communications, clean energy, of course, oil. We don't talk about oil a whole lot, but this is a show about, doing well for yourself as far as investments are concerned. And for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, oil is going to be doing pretty well. Oil prices have gone up too. I don't do a lot of driving recently, but I got gas and it's up about 25% from the last time I got it. So I'm starting to see the sticker shock.
Especially where you're at.
Yeah.
The best is when the price of crude drops and yet the price of gasoline increases.
Yeah, which happens.
I love it when that happens. Yeah.
It's not positive.
Go figure.
So Monday prep stuff we like for Monday. I already pulled it up. I'm going to just say right now, QuantumScape Corporation, they basically passed a milestone that was Volkswagen, who's one of their major investors. There was a milestone that Volkswagen wanted QuantumScape to attain to get a $100 million investment. That Volkswagen already said, we're going to give it to you. You just got to do this. And officially last Friday, they did it, which is why you saw that it jumped. You can see it right here, about 10%. I expected to keep going. I also like Palantir. So over the weekend, Palantir had their ability to loan money or to borrow money double. They officially had paid off some of their debts. And it's been announced they paid off some of their debts. And a couple of these banks that did this, that gave them more money or more options to borrow money, are companies that actually set price targets. So I'm hoping on Monday, which is tomorrow, they raise the price targets and Palantir kind of takes off. So what are a couple that you're looking at for tomorrow or this week?
Palantir, absolutely. Really looking to see whether or not we get follow through with the IWM.
Sure.
See if it continues to lead the market higher.
That would be nice. So this is the Russell. This is the ETF that follows the Russell 2000. I'm just going to go out on the 5-year again, just so people can see how crazy it's just been like, look at that, man. Just the last year, it's just been insane what the IWM has been doing, for sure. And
if you're a believer in technicals, you have to look at that chart and be bullish.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of, nothing really telling you that it's going to go down anytime soon, unless
bullish on the whole market.
Yeah, pretty much. Anything you're thinking might be worth staying away from in the coming weeks? I've been thinking about too. I just feel like the market as a whole is going to be doing well. I can't really think of anything offhand.
I just stay away from throwing too much into your favorite microcap stocks right now, because I still think this next week brings a little bit of churn. I think we finish higher, but I don't think we get the true, face ripping rally until the following week.
Sure.
I do think we open up Monday definitely higher, but I do think because 4,000 on the S&P was kind of like the psychological barrier.
Yep.
We broke through it. We're above it right now. A lot of people, I think, unwound their hedges, thus explaining the 10% drop in the VIX
Sure.
on Thursday. And normally when that happens, you get some sort of reaction or bounce. And again, the VIX is at a critical level that, that 17 and a half level. I do think there's a possibility of some sort of bounce off that level. But I think it happens early in the week. You buy that dip, we grind back up, close the week in positive territory, and then have like a really nice rally the following week.
That works for me. That works for me. Yeah, I mean, clean energy is going to be a no-brainer moving forward. I mean, we already talked about all the stuff we expect to move up. I feel like communications on this list definitely has the opportunity, but looking through this, I would say short-term, transports is probably going to be a major benefit because this infrastructure bill is going to take time, but transport right now, I'm telling you, like the amount that people are charging for shipping for containers going across the sea and stuff like that is going up. I just got an email actually this morning. We have a container coming in and they're updating all the pricing just because everything's just getting super expensive. And of course, clean energy. Clean energy is going to really start moving forward. Clean energy already was, but I feel like transports and clean energy are probably going to be, in the next 2-3 months, really starting to take off. And industrials, of course, you can look at as well, for sure. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. So predictions, we kind of went through them on Friday. I expect everything on Monday. I expect Monday tomorrow to be pretty freaking big. We mentioned it on yesterday's show. That 916,000 new jobs added. It's a pretty impressive number.
Announced on a day the market's closed.
Yeah. So no one's had a chance to react to this.
That never happened.
Yeah. Do you think they did that on purpose, or is it just the day they happened? Just because it's the end of the month. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So yeah, I'm expecting Monday to be huge, which means Tuesday will probably be a regular Tuesday. But overall for the week,
turnaround Tuesdays.
Yeah, true. So overall for the week, though, we both expect the market to be up, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it, folks. Any last minute thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, and I think like I said, we get some sort of dip early in the week, but like nothing significant. Just more more rotation, more balancing.
Sure.
And so I think full steam ahead.
All right. Come on, QuantumScape. Come on, Fuel Cell, Palantir, Watt, AMC. Actually, I have a $16 call on AMC that expires at the end of the month. But I'm rooting for all of those tomorrow. That's for sure. All right. Well, appreciate everyone for watching the show and all the subscribers and everything. If you haven't, please over there, subscribe. Go ahead and like in this area. Check out the show because we said so. It is more of an audio show. We started this back in 2016. We get a lot of listens on the podcast side. We launched the video side not that long ago. So it's an awesome show. Put a lot of time in it. Definitely please check it out. I have a link.
What are you guys talking about this week?
So actually, we're taking the week off, believe it or not, because it's Easter. We like to take, every 3 months, we like to take some time off because that show requires a lot of research. Like this one, it's a little bit different because you and I, we're talking about stuff that we follow anyway. But last episode, we're talking about making kimchi. Like, I don't know how to make kimchi. Like, it requires a lot of research. And other people in the group as well, in the show as well. There's 4 of us. There's 4 cameras. There's a lot going on. So, all right. Well, anyway, we will be back on, I don't know, I think we're going to start doing Wednesdays, right? More in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
So we'll be back
midweek.
on Wednesdays. So we're going to be doing Wednesdays, Saturdays, Sunday shows moving forward. We have been getting some emails and some comments about us doing more shows. I can say that's not out of the question. Those of you who watch these shows, you can see there's a little bit more production value. It does take a lot of time to research and curate these shows. And as our subscribers increase, we'll definitely be adding more. So the people that want more shows, we really appreciate it. Please hit us up with that. If we get so many calls, you just got to do it. We'll eventually do it. But for now, we're trying to take the nice, healthy, rise, just like all the stocks that you guys watch. We want a nice, healthy incline. That's the direction we're going. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Appreciate it. Boom.